Okay, we're at Ancourt in the middle of beautiful Jersey, a bit more like the Gaza Strip today. We've got Deputy Sean Power, Assistant Minister for Housing. What on earth's going on here?
Well, if I can review it very quickly, the strategic plan of 2005-2006 was to build a town park on the Talman and Gasworks site, and in order to get rid of the cars, that project has not happened because of the number of cars on that site. The proposal is to demolish this area and to put a car park, a multi-storey on this site. Deputy Judy Martin has brought a proposition to have housing for over 55s on that site, and if that happens, the 17,000 people who signed a petition for the town park on the Talman Gasworks site, that will not happen because we have to find a home for 400 cars.
Right, let's just get it quite clear. These houses here, the 70 units of accommodation on this site, they haven't been here 25 odd years. Extraordinary to be demolishing 70 units of accommodation after such a short time.
I think you find they've been here longer than that. I think they're late 60s, early 70s. The ones behind you and around us were piled. The engineering side of this was piled. The ones over there were not piled, and those are the ones with the problem because they're moving. And some of it has been caused by the fact that they weren't piled, and some of it has been caused by the town stream. So remedial works to this, it has been decided, are too expensive and prohibitive, so something that will be demolished.
Is that a negligence issue of theirs? Somebody going to be sued for that?
I don't think the housing department is going to go back 40 years on the late 60s.
The year we
70s.
have is 1976 for a lot of this stuff was built.
Well, we're going back 30 plus years.
Right, but it's...
I don't think a negligence issue is going to come up.
You don't think that's... So the public's going to pay again?
Probably.
We also have with us Laura Story, who's been a local resident, lives overlooking the property here. You're very concerned about what's actually happening here. What's your initial reaction to that?
Well, my initial reaction is when the petition was actually signed a couple of years back, was people signed that with the understanding that there was going to be underground car parking there. So why are you not going ahead with this underground parking? That is what people signed a petition for, underground parking and a car park. And you're now going back on that and using this site, which is an excellent site for social housing, to put a car park. Now, this is a highly residential area.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We're surrounded with the residentials. We've got kids here. Can you imagine 800 cars a day coming here? Can you imagine the traffic issues and the road safety issues to put a car park on this site?
If I answer the first bit first, the original petition was for an underground car park as part of the town park and the Talman Gasworks site. When it came to the States, the costings to do with an underground car park on that site were found to be prohibitive. The reason for that was the heavy metals that came out of the byproduct of the gasworks on that site are beneath that. And when exploratory work was done by Ove Arup 2 years ago, they discovered that were they to start digging and, for want of a better phrase, interfering with the subsoil down there, there was a risk of contamination of the town stream, which, as you know, runs right down through New Street, under Conway Street, and into town, into the harbour. So, the first part of your question, the answer to the first part of your question is that they then abandoned the plans for an underground car park on that site, which would have accommodated those cars. I agree with you on that. And the fallback situation was, because of the remedial works that I referred to earlier that was to be carried on this, they would look at this area. At yesterday's briefing, Friday's briefing, the 30th, on the town park and the Ancourt option, TTS have carried out in the early part of last summer a very complex traffic management study for this area, which I think, when it's released, I think it has been released to the media this weekend, will alleviate some of the concerns you have. I do accept what you've said about it being a residential area. It is a residential area, and as an assistant minister, I would want to see more housing in this area, both for over 55s and anyone else for that matter. And an indication of that is Salisbury Court, Salisbury Crescent, which is being built opposite Croix Marché. The housing department are moving in on that in the next couple of weeks.
Are you saying that this ought to be residential rather than car parking? Is that your view?
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that until the States debate Deputy Martin's proposition for over 55s, we are going to go ahead, the States collectively, not me, not the housing department, the States collectively are going to go ahead and...
But do you, as Deputy Sean Power, think that this is a suitable place for a car park?
do I think that this site is a particular place for a car park? Well, if there isn't a car park in the town centre to replace the gasworks site, we won't have a town park. And the wishes of 17,000 people, albeit with the underground.
17,000 people wanted that park with underground parking. So you're almost splitting.
They wanted a town park first.
They wanted a town park, but when they were signing that petition, it was with an understanding there was going to be underground parking there. It was not with an understanding that we were going to be losing this site. Now, what I'd like to know is what other sites you've looked at for the TTS has looked at for our parking in town. We've got a surface area in Green Street. Why can they not build up on Green Street and extend that? And did you also know that in 1965, the States actually approved plans to put a multi-storey car park in Snow Hill, another site you can actually put that in. I've seen the plans for that. So they didn't go ahead with that at the time. It was actually agreed a package for Green Street, Snow Hill and the Cattle Market, that's Minden Place. All three of them were going to go ahead. I don't know the reason they haven't, but that's another site you should be looking at. Do not turn over housing in this area to a car park.
Isn't it also a fact, I mean, even just where we're standing now, you can actually see Minden Place car park, which is also scheduled for demolition apparently within the near future. It's only got a short lifespan. So that's another part of the agenda, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not